Good morning, everyone. My name is Lisa Bender. I'm the president of the Minneapolis City Council, and I will call our regular meeting of the City Council for January 26th to order. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Gordon.
Here.
Cano is absent. Reich is absent. Fletcher.
Here.
Jenkins.
Here.
Schrader.
Here.
Warsami.
Present.
Cunningham.
Here.
Ellison.
Present.
Goodman.
Present.
Johnson.
Here.
Palmisano.
Present.
Reich.
Here.
President Bender.
Here.
There are 12 members present.
Let the record reflect that we have a quorum today. There are a couple of items related to our agenda. The first item is that I will be moving to delete from the agenda a resolution for the 2026 World Cup. And I'm just going to ask for more time on this item so folks can get familiarized with the request. And then secondly, Councilmember Gordon has an amendment to add under the order of notice of ordinance introductions, a notice of intent related to the establishment of procedures for setting or changing compensation levels for the mayor and council members going forward into the future. Again, this is just a notice of intent, and a copy of that amendment should be at your desks. Are there any other requested amendments for the agenda? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve the agenda with those amendments?
I'd like to speak to that quick.
Let's take a motion.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Councilmember Schrader.
I'm fine moving the amendment forward. I just think that this is an issue that there would have been, I think the public would have appreciated more public discussion on the pay raise, and for us to come forward and have an amendment to look at a better way to do that, I think should also go through the process. I know we'll have much more time to discuss that. That's why I'll be voting yes for this. I just want to flag that we should be following a process.
Thank you, Councilmember Schrader. And of course, this is just a notice of intent. So this notifies the public that at our next regular meeting of the council in 2 weeks, we will be voting to give subject matter introduction. And then from there, the subject would go to the appropriate committee for a staff referral 2 weeks after that. And that starts the regular process. So there's plenty of time here to discuss this item. This is just a procedural item to give notice of intent at this time. Councilmember Gordon.
I just want to apologize to my colleagues that I didn't get this notice and request over to the clerk's office. I think I missed it by minutes of actually getting it posted on the agenda. So the clerk just suggested we could do it this way, and that way it will be before us. And there'll be plenty of time to talk about this in the future, and there'll be plenty of time for me to prove to you that I can do a better job next time of getting my matters to the clerk's office in time to have it on the posted agenda.
Thank you, Councilmember. Any further discussion on the agenda? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the agenda, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And that carries, and the agenda is adopted. The next item is acceptance of the minutes of the January 12th meeting. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
That has been moved and seconded. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That carries, and the minutes are accepted. Next, we have referral of petitions, communications, and reports to the proper committees and departments. And we need a motion on that and approval. Okay, is there a motion, please?
So moved.
All those in approval, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That carries. The next order of business is the reports of our standing committees, starting with Health, Environment, Civil Rights, and Community and Engagement. That's chaired by Councilmember Cunningham.
Thank you, President Bender. The Health, Environment, Civil Rights, and Engagement Committee brings forward one item. It's the Public Health Advisory Committee appointments, approving the following council reappointments. We have 5. One from Ward 2, Ward 9, and Ward 10, as well as representative from Minneapolis Public Schools and the University of Minnesota School of Public Health. These will be for 2-year terms beginning January 1 of this year and ending December 31st, 2019. And just additionally, we I presented a list of an outline of schedule for presentation so that folks are able to better understand the work that reports to the committee as well. So that is the one item that we have. I move approval of this item.
Councilmember Cunningham has moved adoption of the committee's report. Any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Gordon.
Aye.
Cano.
Aye.
Reich.
Aye.
Fletcher.
Aye.
Jenkins.
Aye.
Schrader.
Aye.
Warsami.
Aye.
Cunningham.
Aye.
Ellison.
Aye.
Goodman.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Palmisano.
Aye.
President Bender.
Aye.
There are 13 ayes.
That carries, and the report is adopted. Next, we have the Intergovernmental Relations Committee report given by the committee chair, Councilmember Johnson.
Thank you, Madam President. We bring forward today 5 items. 1 through 3 are contract amendments with our lobbyists. Item 4 is a minor, 2 minor amendments to our state legislative agenda, and item 5 is amendment to our legislative policy positions. And I will go ahead and move all 5 items under that report.
Thank you, Councilmember Johnson. Councilmember has moved adoption of the report. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Gordon.
Aye.
Kano.
Aye.
Reich.
Aye.
Fletcher.
Aye.
Jenkins.
Aye.
Schrader.
Aye.
Warsami.
Aye.
Cunningham.
Aye.
Ellison.
Aye.
Goodman.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Palmisano.
Aye.
President Bender. There are 13 ayes.
That carries, and the report is adopted. Next, we have the report of the Public Safety and Emergency Management Committee, chaired by Councilmember Kano.
Thank you, Madam President. And today we have, let's see here, 6 items being brought forward to the full City Council. The first one is a gift acceptance for the Minneapolis Police Department from the Vibrant and Safe, a subsidiary of the Minneapolis Downtown Improvement District. Item number 2 is an amendment with SMG for plain clothes officers. Number 3 is a grant from the Minnesota Board of Firefighter Training and Education for the training reimbursement. Item number 4 is a grant from the International Association of Chiefs of Police for community collective healing and officer wellness. Number 5 is a contract amendment with the Trans Languages LLC for translation and interpretation services. And item number 6 is a contract with Aspen Psychological Consulting LLC for psychological evaluation services. And we bring those items forward.
Thank you, Councilmember Kano. Is there any discussion on the committee's report? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Gordon.
Aye.
Kano.
Aye.
Reich.
Aye.
Fletcher.
Aye.
Jenkins.
Aye.
Schrader.
Aye.
Warsami.
Aye.
Cunningham.
Aye.
Ellison.
Aye.
Goodman.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Palmisano.
Aye.
President Bender.
Aye.
There are 13 ayes.
That carries, and the report has been adopted. Next, we have the report of the Transportation and Public Works Committee, given by the committee chair, Councilmember Reich.
Thank you, Madam President. The committee will be forwarding 12 items today. Item 1 is the transfer of the Boston Field from the City of Minneapolis to Minneapolis Park and Recreation Board. Item 2 is a contract amendment with American Environmental LLC for storm sewer cleaning. Item 3 is the Minnesota Department of Health grant for source water protection plan implementation. Item 4 is a contract with Hennepin County Sentencing Services Program for maintenance services. Item 5 is a contract with Hennepin County for waste disposal services. Item 6 is a contract amendment with Thomas & Sons Construction for the Seward Bicycle Project. Item 7 is the Penn Avenue North project from West Broadway to Lowry Avenue North. Item 8 is the 5th Street Southeast pedestrian bicycle bridge, and it's a reimbursement for setting the public consent public hearing. And item 9 is the Mid-City Industrial Reconstruction Project designation, cost estimate, and appropriation increase. Item 10 is the bid for the parking ramp condenser unit replacement project. Item 11 is the bid for cleaning the small diameter sanitary sewer system, and item 12 is the bid for the construction of concrete sidewalk curb and gutter alleys, and drive approaches. Madam President, I forward all items for approval.
Thank you, Chair Reich. Is there any discussion on the TPW report? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Gordon.
Aye.
Kano.
Aye.
Reich.
Aye.
Fletcher.
Aye.
Jenkins.
Aye.
Schrader.
Aye.
Warsami.
Aye.
Cunningham.
Aye.
Ellison.
Aye.
Goodman.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Palmisano.
Aye.
President Bender. There are 13 ayes.
That carries. The report is adopted. The next report is from the Ways and Means Committee, given by the chair, Councilmember Warsami.
Thank you, Madam President. We have 6 items to report on the Ways and Means agenda. The first item is a legal settlement claim of Ali Aiden. The second item is a contract amendment with Lofa Construction Consulting LLC for Fire Station number 15 reconstruction and remodeling project. The third item is a gift acceptance 2017 fourth quarter report. The fourth item is a contract with Polaris Industries for use of all-terrain vehicles during the Super Bowl events and activities. The fifth item is an Eastside Storage and Maintenance Facility grant from the Mississippi Watershed Management Organization for enhanced stormwater treatment design and construction. And the sixth item is a resolution appropriating funds to regulatory services for repairs related to the Tenant Remedies Act. And I move approval of all these items.
Councilmember Warsame has moved the report. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Gordon.
Aye.
Kano.
Aye.
Reich.
Aye.
Fletcher.
Aye.
Jenkins.
Aye.
Schrader.
Aye.
Warsame.
Aye.
Cunningham.
Aye.
Ellison.
Aye.
Goodman.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Palmisano.
Aye.
President Bender.
Aye.
There are 13 ayes.
That report is adopted. Finally, we have reports of special committees, a report from the Executive Committee by Council Vice President Jenkins.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Executive Committee met on January 23rd, 2018. Thank you. And is forwarding 2 items to the council today. First item is related to the creation of a new position in the Health Department as Deputy Commissioner of Health. This matter will be referred to the Ways and Means Committee for its review and recommendation. The second item is the 2017 Pay Equity Implementation Report. Required under the Minnesota Local Government Pay Equity Act. The requested action is to approve the report and authorize staff to file it with the State Department of Management and Budget. I'd move both items for approval by the council, Madam President.
Thank you, Vice President. The Vice President has moved the Executive Committee report. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Gordon.
Aye.
Kano.
Aye.
Reich.
Aye.
Fletcher.
Aye.
Jenkins.
Aye.
Schrader.
Aye.
Warsame.
Aye.
Cunningham.
Aye.
Ellison.
Aye.
Goodman.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Palmisano.
Aye.
President Bender. There are 13 ayes.
That carries and the report is adopted. Next, we have our notice of ordinance introductions with one item that was added to the agenda by Councilmember Gordon. This is a notice of intent to introduce at the next regular meeting of the City Council the subject matter of an ordinance amending the code related to personnel, amending Article 2 to add a new section establishing procedures for setting or changing compensation levels for the mayor and city council members. This requires no vote until the next meeting, and that notice is given. We have one item in the introduction and referral calendar, which is a motion by Councilmember Johnson to introduce for first reading and referral the subject matter of an ordinance amending the code related to license class definitions and allowable entertainment to the Economic Development and Regulatory Services Committee. Is there any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all in approval, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That carries. That completes the business items on our agenda. Do any council members have any announcements? I have just 2 things then. The first is I just wanted to note at the last council meeting, I think of last term, Council President Johnson had highlighted some of our 2017 accomplishments, and this will be going online and available to the public. We wanted to highlight this in part because Council Vice President and the Mayor and I will be working with all of you to create our process for adopting goals for our term. And this shows how we did it in the last term. You can see the goals in front of you: living well, one Minneapolis, being a hub of economic activity and innovation, great places, a city that works. And you can see some of the things that we accomplished under those guiding principles and goals last term, like passing our paid sick and safe time ordinance, raising the minimum wage, creating a transgender equity council and a division of race equity. We had the highest voter turnout rate in 2 decades, assisting approximately 106,000 people to cast ballots in their election. We placed 1,653 youth aged 14 to 21 in step-up internships with 226 employees, where they earned approximately $3 million in total wages. For the 6th year in a row, we saw over $1 billion of investment in our city, reaching $1.49 billion in construction permit value. A lot of that goes through the Planning Commission, where we now have Councilmember Schrader representing the city. We assisted in the development of 29 new single-family homes. The home buyers were 62% households of color and did a lot of things with our vacant lots that are still left over from the foreclosure crisis and the tornado. We had a lot of investment in public places, including the Nicollet Mall project, which you can visit now, completed on time and on budget due to heroic efforts by our Public Works Department. We made police data more accessible and easier for residents to categorize and research by launching a new dashboard. We recognized 157 of our extremely hardworking employees with special thanks and recognition awards, and we received a 2017 Wellness by Design Gold Award from the county for our efforts to prioritize our employees' health, and so much more. It's all in front of you. I just wanted to highlight a few of those things as we think forward to the upcoming term. And Councilmember Cunningham.
Thank you, Madam President. I also just wanted to take a quick moment to recognize some of the work that the environmental health work has been done. The city of Minneapolis is now the first major city to eliminate all PERC chemicals from their dry cleaners. So thanks to everyone who helped make, all the staff and all the folks who helped make that possible. Now we have better air quality, much significantly improved air quality because of this toxic chemical that's typically used in dry cleaning is no longer here. And it's very exciting that we get to say that we are the first city to accomplish that in this country. So thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilmember Cunningham. Finally, if there are no other announcements, I just wanted to take a moment to pause and celebrate the life of Annie Young. Many of you knew and loved her and worked with her for a long time. It was Monday this week that we lost Annie, a longtime commissioner with the Park and Recreation Board and an outspoken environmental advocate, champion of green, sustainable initiatives. For almost 30 years, Annie's voice was influential in setting the policy direction of our nation's top-ranked park system. She led efforts to promote and sustain a clean and green city of lakes, a place that welcomed all residents and visitors alike, and it was her unwavering commitment to the environment that helped secure the Park Board's consistent rating as our #1 park system in the whole country. Last year, many of you will remember that we adopted a resolution in her honor, proclaiming May 20th, 2017 as Annie Young Day in Minneapolis. I want to ask that we take a moment of silence to recognize her legacy and her life, but I'd like to see if anyone would like to speak about Commissioner Young, and I see Councilmember Gordon.
Thank you, Madam President. And I think that among the council members, Councilmember Goodman and I probably knew Annie the longest. I think it was in the 1980s when I got to know Annie, started to get to know her. She was actually ahead of her time, I think, in the work that she did in terms of environmental justice. She led the effort to stop a garbage burner from moving into the Phillips area, worked to create the Green Institute there, sort of changed the direction of what was happening, recognizing, I think, way before we did as a city council that there's a need to do some environmental justice in different parts of our city. She also was a leader in the Green Party. And when we first started running candidates for office in 1997, she came to us for our endorsement, and she remained Green elected official in the city of Minneapolis for a while, the only other Green elected official besides me. So she was a support person for me to go to, a mentor that I could learn from, and also somebody that I could go with, and we could kvetch about, what it's like actually being the only Green on an elected body, or also kvetch about what it's like to be an elected Green among a bunch of Greens who are, agitating for us to do this or that, and complaining about elected officials. So I will miss her dearly. I also got to know her son, Sean, and also her grandson, Sean, through the years, and my thoughts and prayers are certainly with them and with their family. She was really a one of a kind, and we're definitely going to miss her. She made an enormous difference in our city.
Thank you. And then Council Vice President?
Thank you, Madam President. I didn't know Annie Young quite as long as Councilmember Gordon, but I did meet her and worked with her in the late 90s, and we both served on the board of Lake Street Partners, and we commissioned a project called Lake Street USA, along with other partners along Lake Street, and by photographer Wing Young Huey. And there was this big image on the side of the Sears building, as it was known then, that I really believe spurred the redevelopment that is now the Midtown Global Market and Midtown Exchange. And so Annie was very much engaged in community and economic development as well, and economic justice. And so, in in a testament to her hard work on environmental issues. She was also deeply concerned about fair and just community development along Lake Street as well. You will be missed, Annie Young.
Thank you. So then I'll just ask everyone to join me in a moment of silence to celebrate the life and legacy of Annie Young. Thank you. With that, we have completed our business for today. We have a closed session related to the litigation matter of Jada Johnson versus the City of Minneapolis. So I have a motion to adjourn to room 315 for the closed session. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.